Hey guys, Joe here, and here to talk to you about why I think 1v1 fighting games like Smash Brothers are just not as famous as they are right now, and how they can become more famous, and pretty much the difference between them and a game like League of Legends or Dota or Smite, something like that. And let me just try to do this. This is a little bit more for the competitive people, and if you're casual, you might like it, you might not, but hopefully we can get into this pretty well. So, to start off, I'm going to say why I think that people will not like 1v1 games quite as much as team games, and pretty much the basics for this is that 1 vs 1, first, you're just looking at 2 people fight, only 2, and people really like to watch a lot of people fight at the same time. Second, there isn't as much action. If it's a 5 vs 5, there's a lot of action, there's 2 teams, people, pretty much people are always fighting. There's a lot more action, and in 1 vs 1, a lot of the time there just isn't as much action. And thirdly, it's really hard to create a little, like, team for a 1 vs 1 game. So you can't really, like a team like TSM, they can't really put players in a certain place, pretty much like a dorm room. That's pretty much what they do for esports, like League of Legends. They put them in a little dorm room to work with their team. But if you're playing 1 vs 1 like Smash Bros, they just don't really do that. So I really think that those 3 reasons are the main reasons. They pretty much just don't have as much time to practice and stuff like that, because they aren't together all the time. So that's the basic of it. Also, another thing is that pretty much in life in general, if you notice right now, people really like watching team games. Pretty much life itself is based off teamwork, and people just really do love that teamwork. They love to see FIFA, they love to see just soccer or football, and they love to see basketball, baseball. They just like to see all the team members coming together, creating a win, and just winning off that. But as we can also see, sports like boxing, wrestling, MMA, different stuff like that, it's really going down. People don't like watching it anymore. The world is becoming a little bit more team-based than pretty much solo-based, I guess. So, really, team games are just becoming more and more popular, and solo games just are becoming less. So as we are right now, where we have tournaments be completely about solo, just about you being the best, it's just not really what the world wants to see right now, and also it doesn't get all the money, people don't really like to view it as much. So what am I thinking that we should do instead of just these solo games, helping yourself? Well, I don't have an exact idea, but I do have a little, like, smidgen of an idea, a little brightness in my mind that maybe some of you guys can expand on, and maybe someday we can create something more than just 1 vs 1 tournaments. The first thing before I give you that idea though is the fact that if we do continue in just the way that we're doing it right now, just these single or double elimination tournaments where you're just one person, there's something that you could do, and that is pretty much make the tournaments a lot more often. Make Evo, or maybe not Evo, make stuff like Evo very, very, very often. If it's often, a lot of people will watch it, it'll become more popular, and pretty much just make stuff more often like this, and it'll be watched more. That's pretty much just as simple as that. But other than that, I'm thinking that what we may want to do, if somebody, I don't know how we could do this to be honest, but if we could do this, it would really, really help improve the community. We could try to create something like pretty much the esports that League of Legends has, the one that Dota has, where we create teams. I don't know how many members, maybe 3 to 5. We create teams, maybe get sponsors if people ever did that. Get a few hosts that always host, talk about the plays and stuff, and we pretty much do what is doing really well right now. We try to, not really copy, but we try to do something similar to CSGO, League of Legends. We want to make a few teams that fight each other, try to fight for the championship, worlds, and stuff like that. We could also have initiations pretty much into it by big, huge tournaments that somebody would host. The problem is, I don't know anybody that could start all these up, but this is just a little idea coming out of my head that I was hoping maybe someday will happen, and this is just one way that I think pretty much the Smash Bros. Esport can become a lot bigger. So what you'd want is, of course, you know, the casters and everything. You'd want a few people to be sponsored, maybe 3 to 5. You could even do 10 or something like that. And then pretty much they are a team, and they do team versus team matches, and then they climb up a ladder. And what you could pretty much do is what League of Legends does, of course, once again, which is if you win, you get 1 point. If you lose, you don't get a point, but the other people get a point. It's pretty much you and your team have to try to win a lot against the opponents, get up there on the leaderboards, and basically become the best of the best. And yeah, now one thing a lot of people will be wondering is how the heck are you supposed to get on the top of the leaderboards? How is this going to work at all? How are people going to commentate? Well, first off, I was thinking either you could do 2 vs 2 matches, So, you know, you could see 2 people at once. That would be pretty cool. A lot of people like that. Or what you could do is do 1 versus 1 matches, but you get to counterpick the player that plays the other player. So that's a little bit confusing. But let's say you have 5 players. The enemy has 5 players. At the start of the round, you both pick 1 player. Each team doesn't know who they are. Just 1 random player, and then they go to fight at the little fighting area. The next round, pretty much, the losing person switches out if they want to, if the team wants them to. The losing person will switch out with another player, and then hopefully a player that can counter the first player on the opposite team's stratagem. So pretty much if Jigglypuff lost to a fox, you just switch it out and then put in a new player like another fox or a falcon or something. And then essentially what you do is you just keep kind of switching in and out. The winner doesn't switch, the loser does, and you could do like pretty much every round you do a best of 3 and then they'd switch. And then overall you could do like a best of 5 of the best of 3s. So yeah, that's pretty much just what I'm thinking, because you can't make it exactly a team game, but you can make it more molded into a team-like type of game just by switching in and out between the players. Now, some people may not like this idea because it does sound a little bit jank, and it may be kind of hard to communicate well and just kind of hard to do. Also, it'll become, I don't know, it can become a little bit hard to just do overall. But I feel like if we did something like this, maybe not this exact idea, I don't really know, but if we did something like this type of esport, or we just made tournaments more often, we could make Smash Bros into a lot more competitive a game. The way that we've been doing Smash Bros for a while, I personally think is the wrong way of doing Smash Bros. It's the wrong way of doing a competitive game. After we heard from Zero and Mewtwo King and people like that, if you even are at the top of the top for the Smash Bros community, you will not win, pretty much. I mean, not like you'll win, but you won't win in life because you won't get a lot of money, and you just don't get that much. So what we need to do is to start up the stream, start up the advertising, and just try to hope that this goes well. I mean, this is a good idea, I think, but I don't know. If you think this idea is horrible, then tell me in the comment section below, and I'll just scrap this idea. But I hope that it kind of helps you kind of get into my mind of what I think we need to do. Even if you don't like this idea, though, if you hate it, if you think it's horrible, tell me if you do agree, if you think that we do need to do at least something to make the game a little bit more competitive, make team play, or just do something to make so there's more games, more often, more teams, more something, just in order to make pretty much Smash Bros. More of an esports game, other than just this weird 1 vs 1 competitive game every few months that really isn't that popular. I don't know, though. This idea may be bad, it might be good. Thank you guys for watching, though. I hope you did enjoy, and I hope that you understood kind of what I was going for. And as a summary, just for my little idea, if you don't really get it that well, let's say that there's a caster, there's a few players, and there's just a streamed thing, pretty much. People watch. Essentially, it's just League of Legends. There's one team on the right, one team on the left in a room. They send out one player, they fight, the loser swaps with another player, and then whoever wins doesn't have to swap, and you just keep going. It's a best of 3 for every time before they swap, and then whoever wins, whatever team wins, the best of 5 gets a point, and then they'll just move up the leaderboards. That's essentially my idea, but in layman's terms. But if you don't like that, make sure to tell me. Hope you guys did enjoy, and hope that you thought of something, or hope that your ideas in your minds may be able to help us propel the Smash community into something else. I really do just want to get this video out there. I don't really care if my idea gets big or not. I just want to make sure that everybody kind of keeps us in their mind and tries to think of some way to make Smash 4 more competitive. I love this game. I love how it's going. I just wish that there's something more, maybe crew battles, just something more that we could do to just create a more competitive style and make so the high tier competitive players could get a little bit more money just like by watching the streams and stuff. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. So it's really kind of mashed together, so it might be a little bit weird of a video compared to the rest because it was kind of just coming straight out of my mind, not completely formulated. Thank you guys for watching though, and I'll see you all next time.